Welcome to the next edition of the Maracle Seating Podcast. I'm your host, Christian Maracle. You know me mainly as Cinema Sins 2 Expansion. Alright, and the leader of the Optimistic Army, I forgot to mention that. This is the first edition of WWE PPRV, which stands for Paper Review, and it's the Payback 2016 edition. Now, Payback was a couple weeks ago. It was about 2 weeks ago. It took place May 1st in Chicago, Illinois. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about the event, and I'm going to be reviewing it, and my personal opinions of what I thought when I first saw it live. This is not counting as part of my Sin video that I posted a couple days ago. Oh, was it yesterday? I don't know. I posted a Sin video of Payback already. Anyway, I also want to apologize for a moment here. The absence of my colleague, FGC. Yeah, on episode 3 I mentioned that I was going to have a colleague. Unfortunately, FGC was not able to make it today. So, he'll be back when I do the review of Extreme Rules 2016, which will be later at the end of this month. Alright, but without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about WWE Payback 2016 in a review form. Alright. First off, let's talk about the Tag Team #1 Contenders match. The Vaudevillains versus Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Now this was interesting. Leading up to this match, these two teams just became upstarts who arrived from NXT. Like Enzo and Cass arrived like the night after WrestleMania, the Vaudevillains, but a couple weeks later. But yeah, when they had managed to make it through this tag team tournament and get it over to Payback, I actually thought to myself, oh, this should be fun, because these two are freshly off NXT, and now they got a shot at the tag team titles, which is amazing. Alright, and so, let's see, I was rooting for, I'll be honest, yeah, I was rooting for Enzo and Colin, and, well, as we all know, the Vaudevillains ended up winning, but that was not by pinfall or submission. It was by sudden stoppage of the match because of a sudden injury to Enzo Amore. Like, Enzo was thrown out of the ring by Simon Gotch, I believe it was. Thrown out of the ring, his neck bounced off the ropes, then onto the canvas, and then finally fell to the floor. And I gotta tell you, that was at first, it's that one moment where you don't see that it's a serious injury at first, but then, like, the referee throws up the X motion, and, the match suddenly stops. They had to get, like the medical personnel out there to tend to Enzo, and that was actually the moment where I was like, holy crap, this is actually a serious situation. So from watching that, I was pretty shocked. I was hoping that Enzo would be okay, but I knew for a fact that the show would have to go on, and that we would get more info on his condition, considering this was at the start of the show. And so they went on to got Enzo out of there, took him to the hospital, where it's been revealed he suffered a major concussion. Thankfully, that's all he suffered. Because injuries like that is just not cool. But anyways, we moved on to the next match, which was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. A match that they've had, and this is a match that's been going for a while. They've competed against each other many times in 2015, and they were also participating at WrestleMania, that Intercontinental title ladder match. So basically, this is hopefully the one to settle the feud, and what I enjoyed about this match was the amazing talent that both Kevin and Sami have, and they never cease to amaze us on what they can do in the ring. What I did not like about the match, I would probably say, well, for one thing, Kevin Owens constantly shouting at Michael Cole. Honestly, the whole rivalry between Michael and Kevin, I honestly think to myself, it's just pointless, useless, and why the hell is it even there? It's kind of stupid. But then again, a lot of storylines these days in WWE have been known to be stupid, so it's understandable in some ways. By the end of the match, like, Kevin Owens managed to get the pop-up powerbomb, get the victory, so congrats on Kevin. That was a great match between those two, and they even made me do a sin remover on my sin video because of that. The end result, it could have gone either way. Sammy defeats Kevin, Kevin defeats Sammy. Either way, they were going to put on a awesome match, and they did. So I thought it was pretty good. Kevin went on to go on commentary, and he also assaulted Sammy post-match. But this moves on to the Intercontinental title match. Kevin decides to stay on commentary. I'll admit, he was pretty humorous. He was hilarious at times. But there were some moments where I'm like, okay, seriously, honestly, like, the commentators should just be talking about what's going on in the match, not constantly talking to Kevin Owens. But anyways, about the match itself, it was The Miz defending the Intercontinental title against Cesaro. Miz came out with for one thing, with his wife Maryse, and they brought out Melina's old red carpet that they used to have back when she was around. I'm actually surprised it's not Tyler Breeze using it, considering he already has her outfits. But about the match itself, The Miz and Cesaro. Like, what I enjoyed about the match was Cesaro's feats of strength. Because, like, able to suplex Miz up in the air when he's already, well, for one thing, off the ground. Which was always pretty amazing. The Cesaro swing, I always enjoy watching that. What I did not like about the match, there were some moments I did not enjoy. But a lot of it was kind of hard to focus on because Kevin Owens was constantly talking about things. Not saying I don't like Kevin Owens on commentary, it's just like, well, it's a title match and I don't understand why he's out there. But what I did not like about the match itself mainly has to do with the end result. It's not the fact that The Miz won the match. I was actually totally fine if Miz wins the match. The fact is, like, apparently Sami Zayn showed up, and I honestly think it was Sami's fault that Cesaro lost. Shocker, Christian Maracle just said it was Sami Zayn's fault. The reason I say that is because he couldn't just wait till, like, I don't know, like Kevin Owens was backstage before he decides to attack him again. Because of Sami attacking Kevin, that caused Cesaro to get distracted, and then, well, ended up making, like, Miz, like, grab the tights for the victory, and lo and behold, Miz retains the title. So there you go. But this all set up an upcoming Fatal 4-Way match for Extreme Rules, where at that point it doesn't matter who fights who. But moving on, next match after that was Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. And that was a pretty good back and forth match. I mean, both Dean and Chris, like, show that. I honestly think that, though, actually, before I say anything about that, I just want to say that the cool thing was, like, Dean Ambrose, he ends up winning this match, yeah, but I believe Chris Jericho is doing everything he can in his power to make sure that Dean is, like, boosted. His character is boosted more up into, like, the ranks of the WWE, which is a really cool thing that Chris is doing for us. Even though he's, in the storyline, not trying to do that, it's kind of, and to me, it's kind of obvious he is doing that. He's trying to help the younger future stars get up to the big leagues and stay there. And that's why I give props to Chris Jericho these days. What I enjoyed about the match was the awesome back and forth emotions between Dean and Chris. Like, as usual, I always enjoy, like, seeing the walls of Jericho being put in on someone. Although JBL did say at one point you can't breathe in that hold, and I disagree because I've actually been in that hold. I was once wrestling a match, and I got put in that hold. I was put in the walls of Jericho. Even though it was constantly referred to as Boston Crab, it's kind of obvious that Boston Crab, walls of Jericho, tomato, tomato. But yeah, I can totally breathe. Dean, yes, wins the match. No matter how many times Chris tried to counter that dirty deeds, he got the victory. But a funny moment of that match had to be when Chris grabbed the referee and gave him a big hug and said, "He's killing me, he's killing me." And I honestly don't understand that. That's just crazy. For, even if you're playing a bad guy wrestler, saying he's killing me, that's, that's kind of a dumb excuse. And I'm like, wow, that was just funny. But I enjoyed the end result. Dean defeating Chris. I was actually rooting for Chris Jericho to win this match, but Dean got the victory, and I was totally fine with that. Let's move on to a major part of the night, which was the women's title match between Charlotte and Natalya. It's basically Hart versus Flair all over again because Ric Flair and Bret the Hitman Hart was out at ringside. But the good thing is they didn't really do much with each other. They left it mainly to the ladies to go at it. What I enjoyed about this match was, well, I'll admit, despite Charlotte constantly using everything her father has been doing, and not her own stuff, there were some times where she used her own stuff. She's showing more signs that she could be getting her own future gimmick. And by that, I mean her own original gimmick. Until then, she's still the copyright infringement chick. As for Natalya, yeah, she's been around for a number of years, and she hasn't really accomplished that much, but she's still around, and just because you haven't accomplished much does not mean you don't deserve to be around. And I still believe that maybe one day she'll capture that women's championship. But let's get on to the major part. The major part had to be the end of the match. A parody of the Montreal Screwjob once again. Montreal Screwjob 3.0. And the reason I said 3.0 is because everybody knows 2.0 had to be when CM Punk did the same thing to The Undertaker in 2009. Yeah, I'm like, that really pissed me off. Why the hell would they resort to a Montreal Screwjob just because Bret Hart is at ringside? And lo and behold, it's the one who's a copyright infringement chick. That one is the one that did it. And, for the looks of things, I kind of guarantee that Ric Flair paid the referee a good big chunk of change to tell the referee to do that. Because I know the referee would never personally do that to someone unless he was going to be involved in a future storyline. And that was Charles Robinson, a referee who's been in WWE for over 15 years. 15 years? Has he been in that? Actually, I don't know how long he's been in there, but I did see him at WrestleMania 19. But Charles Robinson, he's a senior official. He's in his 50s. I know for a fact that he wouldn't just randomly, personally screw Natalya out of a title match to give Charlotte the victory. I know. Obviously, he got paid to do it, and is probably going to suffer the consequences. But who knows? Probably not. They're probably going to act like nothing happened. Especially considering now we have a upcoming submission match at Extreme Rules. But even that could also end in a screw job for all we know. Because it's a submission match. This ended in a screw job submission. Sorry if you heard that noise. There's something going on here. I don't really know what else to say about that because there's 1,000 things I want to say about that. Although I enjoyed Bret and Natalya putting in the sharpshooters on both Rick and Charlotte. I'm that's punishment, yes, but it doesn't change the fact that Charlotte's now still the women's champion. But there goes Charlotte once again committing more copyright infringement to the point where this got a major punishment. Anyways, after that, there was a 20-minute segment, and oh my god, here's another thing I don't like. 20-minute long segments, for one thing, those segments on Raw should not even be over 20 minutes. this is like turning into like something that's completely crazy. This is a pay-per-view event. We don't need things that are over 20 minutes long. We want, like, hell, I would even say that the live events, the ones that are non-televised, I'd probably say that they are a lot better than the televised events, because I've been to a lot of those. They just have one match, then they move that off, put the next one on, move them off, put the next one on, and that is what I'm usually there for. I'm there for the wrestling, because I'm a fan of wrestling. But this segment was about who gains control of Monday Night Raw. Vince McMahon shows up. Stephanie McMahon then shows up. Well, first off, Vince, like, talks for a little bit about what this is all about. Introduces Stephanie, who talks for about 5-10 minutes about why she should run Raw. And Shane McMahon, the way he said he should run Raw is the best way. He didn't even have to really say that much. All he did was like show a bunch of photos of positive reviews. Because honestly, we all, but even then, we know that Vince is not going to listen to anybody but himself. You got Shane, who everybody wants to be in control. You got Stephanie, who only she and Vince wants in control. It took about 20 minutes, but eventually Vince decided, you're both going to be running Monday Night Raw. Which I'm totally fine with. I'm like, oh boy. Okay, I guess so. I'll run with that. But they obviously look like they can't stand each other. But then when you look at things later, they're acting as if, like, it's not a problem. They act like it's not a problem that they're in charge together. That was at the end of the event. I say Vince's decision on who runs Raw was, okay, I'll deal with that. But the segment itself was, I think, actually, hold on a minute. I should probably think better than that. I think the reason that segment was really long was because they needed to fill more time because of Enzo Amore's injury, as that completely ruined a great tag team match. So that caused more space to be filled. So in this case, it wasn't like WrestleMania where they were just constantly putting in so much filler. Oh god, that was horrible. This was a moment where like they had no choice, because otherwise this would be a really short show. But then after that, there was the main event. WWE Championship match. WWE Champion Roman Reigns defending against AJ Styles. So what I enjoyed about this match was Roman and AJ prove like they can put on great main events. Yes, I said Roman can put on a great main event. Get over it. But what I did not like about the match is the slow. I know that like some matches they like starting on slow paces and everything, but this match went on for like almost like 6 minutes of slow paces, slowly moving, and they didn't really have that many great moments, especially considering the fact that this match had 3 endings. It ended 3 times. There was 3 WWE title matches. A one that ended in countout, one that ended in disqualification, and finally one where Roman got the pin. But either way, Roman retains the championship in 3 different ways. In 3 easy steps! Yeah, the whole count on disqualification ending, I think that was more extra filler to put in because of, Enzo Amore's injury causing the entire event needing more time. So they figured, let's have this match go on for about 10 to 15 minutes, have it end in disqualification, then restart the match, have another one, have that one go on for a while, and that in disqualification, then restart the match once again, and then have that finally end in a pinfall once, about another 5 or 10 minutes has passed. So basically that's what they did. It's just also another opportunity for Shane and Stephanie to show up as well. After the third match, we had the Usos and the Bullet Club show up. So in other words, there was outside brawl going on. Roman delivered an amazing dive when AJ went ahead and delivered his phenomenal forearm. He delivered a lot of those, especially one through the table. Now that was pretty awesome. But eventually, in the end, Roman got the victory, got the 1, 2, 3, and retained the championship. So there it goes again. But anyways, that's it. That's the end result of that. Oh, I'll forget one last thing. Forgot to mention that that Shane and Stephanie had somehow mutually agreed about their putting their differences aside for some reason. This was out of nowhere. And gave AJ another match for the world title against Roman at the upcoming Extreme Rules event, which is going to be an Extreme Rules match. So that takes care of that. Anyways, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say this event was more of a 5. It was a 5 because, like, it was half and half. It was half good, it was half bad. It had its good times, its bad times, its scary moment, and, well, as I said in the Sin video, it had its sins. But that's something you can take a look at that. What could have been better about this? I'm not going to say a thing about Enzo's injury because that was out of nowhere and was not even planned. What could have been better about this event was, the segments between the McMahons couldn't have been so long, and the WWE title match shouldn't have been so slow. The Chicago Screwjob should never have happened in the first place. And honestly, like these matches, while some of them were pretty good, others were, gross. But anyway, thank you guys for enjoying this review. This has been WWE PPRV Paper Review, the Payback 2016 edition. I'm Christian Maracle. I'm actually glad that you guys enjoyed this. I'll be continuing to review future upcoming WWE events. FGC is going to be here for more of them. Unfortunately, as I said before, he was unable to make it for the first edition, but he'll be here one day. Once again, I'm Christian Maracle, the host of this podcast, and glad you guys enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed my review. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content. Think optimistically. And I'll see you guys next time on the Maracle Seating.